Hello and welcome to the latest Craftmania Sunday Showcase. Today I have a brand new collection of dies, paper pads, decoupage sheets to tempt you with. It really is a lovely collection and I'm sure you're going to love it. But before we get started, I just wanted to talk about a change to our international shipping. A lot of you have been requesting that we send stuff around the world, especially those from America, and we've tried to make it a lot easier for you to order online. So we've changed our website so that it will now offer you a flat rate of just £20 shipping. Doesn't matter where in the world it's going, other than the UK obviously, it will offer you a £20 shipping price. If we can get your shipping cheaper, we will certainly try our best. We will refund you the difference. If your shipping does happen to end up more than £20, then don't worry, we at Craftmania will front that, so it won't cost you any more. That's the maximum price you will pay, and if we can get you even a penny back, we'll certainly do our best to refund it straight away so that you get it as cheap as you possibly can. Shipping always seems such a waste of money, doesn't it? But it's a much needed necessity, especially if you want to get these products to the country you live in. Obviously, if you do live in the UK and you still wish to order our products, that's lovely. Our shipping rates are £2.75 on any order up to £35, and any order over £35 you will receive free P&P. Nothing's changed there at all. Still a great way to get your shipping free just by spending £35. There's thousands of items on the website, so if you haven't had a flick through it yet, you might really like a little nose. Certainly give you a good idea of what our stores carry. But enough about that, let's have a little look at what we have got to tempt you with today. So, as I said, we have dies, decoupage sheets, paper pads, a whole mix match of items that all sort of fit together to make some lovely things. So we're going to start off by looking at the first dies. Now these look a little bit weird in their actual forms, but what these are is paper piecing dies. So this one, for instance, makes up a lovely summer dressed girl. We have her hair, her face, her summer dress, her bow, the backing sheet. They even give you her arms and eyes so that we can build up a really lovely little character. This die should be $16.99. For your Sunday Showcase offer this week, we're taking 25% off everything I'm going to show you. So this one is only £12.74, but that is this week only. The next one we have is our winter girl. So this one we have a little bobble hat instead, some proper filled-in boots, some gloves and a little winter coat. Of course you'll get to see these a lot better when I show you my examples in a moment, but that's just a brief outline. That one again should be $16.99, but it's only £12.74. Moving on. Even if you don't like the girls, don't panic. There is a lot of other things in today's video that you might like, and this is certainly one of them. I'm absolutely in love with this. It's a really delicate backing sheet die, so it's going to cut out all this really nice ornate work for you. It's really stunning. That one's $16.99. Again, with your 25% off, makes it only £12.74. Moving on to our next one, we have this really nice lattice style die, which I think this is the most universal die we have in today's setup, because obviously you could use this as a fishing net for Christmas, for men, or you could put some lights on it and make it look like sort of a Christmas lattice. There's loads you could do with that one. We then have a matching Edgeable die to go with the one I showed you a moment ago. This one was $10.99. It's now reduced to £8.24. And then we have some flower ones. Now these I'm going to show you how to make in a moment, but they're basically like a quilling style flower. You can do it on tweezers if you wish to. There's two designs for these. These are very, very limited stocks. The purple dies, these are a completely different collection, and when they're gone, they're gone. We actually ordered these to do as a showcase on their own, but sadly there wasn't enough in stock. They're a discontinued product, and when they're gone, they're gone. So I predict these will probably be sold out by Monday, so don't miss out. We've got very, very few of these about. These ones are $14.99, reduced to £11.24, and we have our rose design and our daisy design. We then have your ribbon threading border die. Now you may have seen this one before. We've used it in a lesson. I have a feeling it's even been on a showcase before, but this time it's back and it's got 25% off, and when it's gone, it's gone. So get it while you can. This one should be $11.99, but it's now only $8.99, so don't miss out on that one. Beautiful die. We then have 4 different designs of die cut decoupage. Now each of them has 3 different designs on them, so they're good value. These ones should be $1.25, but with your 25% off they're only 94p a sheet. By die cut, I mean everything is cut for you. You'll just pop them out and build them up with either foam pads or silicone. I've numbered them on the top here, so if you are ordering them on Facebook or YouTube, you can do easily. This is design 1. Moving on, we have design 2. We then have design 3. And lastly, the pinky one is design 4. Now the paper pad, which coordinates with all this, especially if you do go for the decoupage sheets, this is a real must-have. With this one, you actually get 3 sheets of every design, but what I've done here is laid them out so you can see the front and the back. So every one of them is double-sided, so literally you've got front and back of each design, trying to show you just how versatile these are. Now, of course, one of the things I really like with this style is because of the pad and the decoupage sheets have been designed by the same people, they keep the same tones, the same colours, you really can layer them up really nicely to get brilliant effects, especially like with design 3 in decoupage, for instance. With your night sky, that layers on your paper pad night sky really well. So if you do want to extend it, or if you don't want to use the backing, you can get more value for money by just popping that on one of these. It really can play out to save you a bit of money and give you a really professional and classy look without having to put too much effort in. The pads should be $4.99, but with your 25% off this week, they're only £3.74. So a bargain, especially from them papers. Really lovely size to work with as well. So let's have a little look at a couple of the dies we spoke about in a bit more detail, and then I'll show you a few of the samples so you can see what you can do with them. So I'm going to start off by showing you the quilling flower. Now these have been around quite a long time, this style, but if you haven't seen them, they're super easy to use. All we're going to do is take our quilling tool, we thread it onto the beginning of the flower, and then we just roll it all the way round. And then you just keep going. If you haven't got a quilling tool and you don't want to buy one just for doing these, you can do it with a pair of tweezers as well, and that's not too bad either. So you don't have to invest in this. Once you get to the end, let it spring out a little bit, and then I tend to use a glue gun just because I'm a bit of a glue gun addict. But you're just going to put a bit of glue on here, and then bring your flower over and it will just sit in place. Once you've glued it, you can then sort of pull down all of the different petals and spread it out a bit. This is a little bit harder to do if you haven't glued it, but hopefully you're going to get the idea. And you can just shape these down quite easily to get quite a lovely flower. You'll see a lot of these that I've done in my cards today, and they look really lovely actually, so when they're sort of glued in place and done properly. You can of course shape it about a bit, and when you build them into clusters you can even add little gems to the middle of them. One of the ones I've done, I've even coloured it with pixie powders, and that gives them a really nice effect. But don't forget, you do have 2 different designs. You've got your rose version and you've got your daisy version. And as I say, we really do have very limited stocks on them, so please don't miss out if you do want them ones. The Edgeable design that we spoke about as well, I just wanted to show you this. I know we've spoke about these on previous Sunday showcases, but if you are new, welcome. This is an Edgeable die. What that basically means is that the blade runs across all of the top of the die, but at the base here there isn't an edge to it. So it's not going to cut, which basically means it will stay in your card. So here's one I've already cut. The die literally stays in place in the card, and then if you wish to, you can snip the edges here to remove it and have it as an edge. It will still stay attached to this side of the card, so if you want it smaller you can just trim it, or if you do want it to appear around the top of a card blank and things like that, you can do. If you wish to do it at the top and the bottom of a panel of card, you can. Gives you a lot of options, to be fair, and many different ways in which you can use them to get different effects. So that's really a good die to get as well. Okay, so let's move on and show you a few of the cards I've made and hopefully inspire you with a few ways in which you could use these products if you wish to buy them. So on card number 1, this is where you're going to see your winter girl. So this was the one that we show you, that's the second one I show you. The die that's reduced from $16.99 to just $12.74. As I say, you do get the little bobble hat in here, the more wintry coat, and the gloves to put on as well. Don't forget, you're even getting the eyes, so you can really play about with them and give them a bit of a different characteristic. It actually cuts in place the mouth and the nose pieces, but if you wanted to, you could of course add them in with a little bit more definition using pro markers or inks or something like that if you wish to. All of the coat elements here, you can see they're all embossed on it. They really are nice quality dies, and I love the way that you actually have a base die to work on. By that I mean here, this die, the face is loose in the middle there, and you actually get this whole shape cut out, and then all of the other pieces you can just glue on top of them, or foam pad on, or silicone on, however you wish to give your doll more depth and definition. Of course you can shape them as well if you wish to, so they're really lovely to work with. In the background we have the lattice die. I've actually cut this down, it is bigger than when you actually use it. As you can see, that's this one, so it is a bit bigger than the one I'm showing you here, but I wanted it a bit smaller for my card, so I've just hacked the sides off. That one's the one that's reduced to £9.74. And then as we go into the middle of the card, you can see the rosies done. That's the spiral die, and they're the large roses. This is actually done on Centura Pearl card to give you an idea of the different weights you can use to do them. That's quite a thick card, it's a 300 GSM card, and it still curls and gives you really nice flowers, but of course you can do them with papers if you prefer. But it's quite an easy winter style Christmas card, just something a bit more pink and bright instead of the traditional style of Christmas. Moving on to card number 2, I just wanted to show you how easy that lattice was to pop into an aperture card. So I've just popped it in here. I haven't put anything behind it, but you could put acetate in here if you wanted to. If you wanted a Christmas window effect, you could of course add little snow into the grooves of the windows using glitter glue or Snow-Tex, something like that. We then have one of the decoupage designs. This is off of design sheet number 2. So it's quite a nice one with the little lilies on the bottom there. And then the actual papers, that's one of the papers. And then inside we have more of the paper from the pad as well to complete that card. Moving on, we have card number 3. Now this time we've got the daisy flowers, and I've actually cut them out of one of the sheets of paper that come in the pad, just to show you how nice they are to use for that as well. And being double-sided, they give you a bit of a tone on the back of them as well, instead of just a stark white, which tones in quite nicely. We also have another one of the decoupage designs, that's off design number 1. And then we have our Edgeable die, which as you can see, although I was talking earlier about using it on the top of the card and pieces, I've actually used it on the side of a piece here and then trimmed that into a triangle just to make like a pocket effect to put my sentiment into. But of course you could use that on the inside of your card if you wanted to put a matching pocket or another pocket to put money or gift vouchers or gift cards into, things like that. But it just shows you another use for the Edgeable dies. Moving on, we have another one of our decoupage sheet designs. This is the lovely one with the little girl sitting on the moon. That comes off of design sheet number 3. In the background here, we're getting our first look at that die I was talking about that I really love. That's this one, £16.99 reduced to £12.74. One of the bits I really like about this is how you can twist it in any direction. So here, for instance, I've got it so the circle is in the bottom corner because I sort of wanted to cover the circle up. But you're going to see throughout the cards that I've done how I've twisted it into different places to give you a different effect. And if you are a scrapbooker, of course you could do 4 and make up a nice 12 by 12 design. You could even cut out the middles, obviously, if you've got another circle die, and turn them more into frames or apertures if you wanted to. You could make it into a shaker card. There's loads you could do with this one. And as I said earlier, it really does fit into just about any theme or occasion you're working on. It's just a really delicate floral background. So nice one to work with. On the front here we also have the Edgeable, which of course matches. I'm sure you've picked this up already, but you've got the same sort of floral details and leaf designs and swirls put into the Edgeable as well. This time I've just done it on a bit of mirror board and cut it off at the base to make my stopper for my easel card. On the front here we have the 3 flowers that are made from the daisy spiral. This time I've covered them in pixie powders. I know every week I chat on about pixie powders. I've also done them on the ribbon here to match in. If you haven't seen pixie powders before, please, I urge you, go watch our introduction to pixie powder video. You too will fall in love with them. They're very, very fun to work with and give you these really nice colourways and results to match in with just about any project you're doing. And I love them on ribbon. I think that's just a great way. This started off as just a white satin ribbon, but yeah, I've dyed it to match my flowers and it just works really well. There's also one of the pages, I told you earlier how that page matched perfectly with the sheet. This is the actual star page out of the little booklet of papers as well. So you can see that really does work quite nicely. And I quite liked how the stars come through from underneath the die cut, so it sort of gives you a more interesting effect. Moving on, this one's a bit of a combo of lots of things really. It's designed as just a gift box, I suppose, to be honest with you. You could put a card in here. The sides are actually made using parchment, so if you wanted to put them little electronic tea lights in here, it would all light up and you could keep it more as a home decor decoration. You could of course theme it to Christmas if you wanted to, or you could just use it as a gift box or card box, whatever you want. But it's more sort of showing you different things from this collection. So in the windows I've used the lattice, and I've just cut my apertures out of cardstock, put the lattice in behind it and then parchment behind that. On the top here, because of a lot of the decoupage sheets, I didn't want to use the backgrounds, I just wanted to use the characters. I had these left over, so I've put them onto black card and stuck them in the middles of the sides of my windows. On the top here you'll also see the Edgeable die, which I've just cut off again and foam padded onto the top box to give you a different effect and more interest, trying to make it a bit more lacy and interesting. On the very top of that we have 3 more of the roses cut out of the papers that you're going to get in that little booklet as well. And I really love the textures they've got in here. They look like I've spent hours inking them and spritzing them, and I haven't. I've just cheated and used one of them sheets. So it's quite an easy little saving time mechanism there. If we turn it around to this side, I wanted to show you a bit of a different effect. If you didn't like the big heavy blocks in the middle, these are just 2 of the other sheet designs, and I've just popped them out, built them up and stuck them on the corners. In your pages, in your booklet, you'll also get 3 sheets of alphabets. There's a pink version, and on the reverse of it you've got sort of more lilacs and blues. I've just cut them out to show you. Of course that will gives you the ability to personalise your designs as well, and of course they match in perfectly colour wise, so it's quite a nice way to do that too. Moving on in the front here we have another one of our die cut designs. Now this one's really lovely because it actually comes in that circle, and so it fits perfectly onto the die cut. That's off of design sheet 4 to give you an idea. Obviously the die cut again is that same background one, the one that's £16.99 reduced to £12.74. And behind that I've got another piece of that paper. That's the same paper as I've used to do my flowers with. I've only had 1 pad, by the way. I often feel I should clarify this. I haven't opened loads of different pads so I can make all my examples. Everything you see paper-wise, if I tell you it come out of that pad, it all come from 1 pad. And I had loads left over. So when you're thinking value for money, you can make a lot of cards out of that one little booklet of papers and still get more out of it, more than I've got. So bear that in mind, they're good value. Moving on, let's have a look at something else. So we'll take you over to this side. Over this side we have our other little character. This is our Winter Girl, so we're back with the hat one. And we've got more of a burgundy colour scheme going on this time. We of course have the roses done all in just burgundy cardstock down the bottom. This is just a 270 GSM card, so you really can play about with the weight card you're using for the effect you want. We then have that same background in the back here, just with some gold mirror behind it. And then at the top we've got our Edgeable design, just padded onto the back of it as a separate panel, just to give you that effect. But I love these little characters, I think they're great. They're just fun and interesting, aren't they? And as you can see between the different colour schemes, you really get quite a different effect. If you think of the first one I show you, in our sort of more pink and white one, and now we've gone a bit darker with the burgundy and black colour scheme. And I love the fact you could personalise the hair and features to the person you're sending them to if you wanted to coordinate. You could. It's just so many options for them. I quite like them. They're fun and interesting. Up next we're going to go to this one. This is showing you that ribbon threading die which I spoke about, which is this one here. So I've just cut it out of black card, but instead of threading ribbon for it this time, I wanted to show you that by sticking them sort of top to bottom as such, you can then make them into more of an interesting background panel. So it's just taking one die and giving you a different effect from it. This one's £11.99 normally, reduced to £8.99 this week with your discount. And then in the middle we just have one of the designs off of design sheet number 1. Now as I said a minute ago, for my lantern style box, I didn't want the background sheets, I just wanted to use the toppers, the actual number 2 onwards as such. So this is what that will give you, and then that leaves you this background piece to put on a different project if you wish to. Or of course you can put them all on one if you want, but it gives you more value for money and more options, I always feel. So we like to do that. While we're chatting about the ribbon threading one, I wanted to bring you to this as well. We may have seen this before. We did it as a lesson recently. This is actually that same die with the ribbon threaded through it. I believe we've shown you this on a showcase before, so you may well have seen it. But if you haven't, this is the same die, and instead of just cutting it once and threading the ribbon through it, I've cut it twice and stuck them over the top of each other just on the ribbon bit, so you've got that top detail coming out of both sides. It also strengthens the bars for you to thread the ribbon through, because this is quite thin card I've done this one on, but it just looks really nice and really easy to do. This is the die again that you want for that. That's the £8.99 one, reduced from £11.99. The ribbon as well, I know when we did this card, and I believe you see it on a video, everybody wanted the ribbon and we sold out really quickly. We have the ribbon back in stock. It's your red tartan ribbon. It's only 25p a metre. I wouldn't like to say how long this is going to last for. We have managed to get a good couple of rolls of it, but if you do want it, get in quick. I know last time we had it, people were literally buying it in the 10-20 metre bundles. So don't go missing out. To be honest, 10 metres will only cost you £2.50, won't it? So if you do like it, get it while we've got it. And going back to your other products, we'll show you a different card. This time we have the Summer Girl. So we're still stuck to the burgundy colour scheme on this one, but we've got the burgundy and the creams and the browns. I love the little bow in her hair. Obviously you can pop that wherever you want to, or you could use it on other projects as well. Behind it we have the lattice die cut. I just wanted to show you how layering in the same colour can give you a different effect. So I've just stuck all in white here. And then we have the sunflower, or the daisy we're calling it, sorry, the daisy spiral flower that's just been done in burgundy cardstock to match. So again, a really simple card to make, but hopefully you'll think it looks quite nice and quite detailed. Moving on to my last card for this week, we have the same Summer Little Girl. So still with the bow and the dress. This time we've gone for the more lacy background. So just to give you a different idea of that one. And again, we've got the sunflower, or daisy, sorry, daisy spiral flower on the front here as well. And again, just showing you in two different colours, that flower die, doesn't it give you a really different effect? Very similar cards here, just a couple of changes, but it really does give you a different idea of what you're looking at. So there are all of your different cards today and all of your different projects. So we're just going to do a quick run through again of your different price points. So if you do want these, you can of course have them held on our Facebook page. You can request to have them held on our YouTube page as well. Or you can even text us your orders. The details for that will be in the description on our YouTube video. If you do want to have them held, please do let us know the store you'd like to collect from. That can either be our Great Yarmouth store or our Lowestoft store, but please do let us know so we can have them held for you in the right shop. Let's have a little look through them again then. So to begin with, we have our Summer Dress Girl. This is the one that's £16.99 reduced to £12.74. We then have our Winter Girl, which should be £16.99 reduced to £12.74. We then have our Floral Background, which again should be £16.99 reduced to £12.74. Then we have our mesh sort of lattice style background, which should be £12.99 reduced to £9.74. We then have your Edgeable Die, which should be £10.99 but is reduced to £8.24. We then have your flower, this is your rose flower spiral die, should be £14.99 reduced to £11.24. We then have your daisy spiral die, that one should be £14.99 reduced to £11.24. And then we have your ribbon threading die, which should be £11.99 reduced to £8.99. The four different designs of decoupage sheets, we have design 1, 2, 3 and 4, and these should be £1.25 but are reduced to only 94p, which is an incredible price for die cut decoupage, to be honest. So I think they'll go quite quickly too. And then lastly we have our paper pack. Don't forget you're getting 3 sheets of each of the designs here seen. These should be £4.99 but they're only £3.74 for this week only. Please don't forget all of these offers will end next Saturday and the prices will go straight back up to where they should be. So please don't miss out. The offer ends at 5 PM, so you can order them online or collect them in store up until then. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed today's video, please don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube. We've hit 170 subscribers this week and that's really lovely to see. Please join in with that lot and keep on liking our videos and subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next week when we have another new Sunday Showcase. Bye for now.